There's a fascinating story unfolding in the crypto space, and some of you may not know about it, so I want to break it down. And those that have been following TechLead and his Million Coin and think it's a scam and want to know who's at fault, it's actually a little more complicated than you may think. So let's cover exactly what happened. For those that don't know, TechLead, really popular YouTuber. He has over 1.1 million subscribers. And the interesting thing about him, he always says he's an ex-Facebook, ex-Google employee, and some of you think that he might be an ex-con soon, and some of you might be right. So the situation is this: in very early July, he comes out with a social experiment. He creates something called the Million Coin, and he unleashes it out onto the crypto market. I believe it was through Uniswap, and he promises that this coin is backed by his own $1 million, and that this million token, it's going to be constrained to just 1 million tokens. So it's never going to be more than 1 million tokens, and he put in 1 million of his own money, which means that there will never be a case where 1 million coin is worth less than $1. And so what happened soon after? Well, people piled in. I mean, he's got so many subscribers, and he was using his brand to really push it. He was making so many YouTube videos about it, and it just started to spiral out of control. The price of Million Coin went from $1 to $200 within weeks. I think it hit a high of like $223, which is insane. I mean, if he really put in $1 million, he would have had $223 million. But the situation is this: as it turns out, CoffeeZilla, another YouTube channel that's also popular, went and investigated Million Coin, and what they found is that TechLead actually lied. He only invested $50,000, not $1 million, when he started. And this might be the fatal flaw in the whole thing. So where is Million Token trading at today? It's trading at $20. So it ran all the way up to like 223, and now it's trading around 20. So that means it ran up 20 plus X, and then it went down 90%. And the thing is that now people are crying over it. People are screaming, this is a scam. He should be in jail. How could he do it? He's still making videos. He's such a narcissist. He must be a complete sociopath. We need to put him behind bars. But not so fast. If you know tokenomics, if you've been following the game of crypto, nearly every single project kind of starts out like this. Now, in his defense, he actually came out when he came out with Million Token, and he said that Million Tokens should not be considered an investment by any means. This is a social experiment and really pure speculation. It's kind of a game for us to see what happens with this, kind of like Dogecoin. And he has a point here. So he admitted this is not a product or a service. What this is, it's a crypto token that he put out there. He's going to push it with his brand. Let's see what happens. Maybe there'll be millionaires and billionaires from it. And in a way, he was right. He created a lot of millionaires, people that got in early. You know, a lot of these projects, a lot of these crypto projects, when they just start out, if you just pile a couple of grand in there, you can make massive profits. It could easily turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars because you were the first to get into the game. And so there's many Reddit groups out there. There's many websites out there. There's many people with private groups out there that share the coins that are coming out this week. And what people do, they don't do research. They don't do due diligence. I mean, it's hard to with these things. This is all blockchain crypto stuff. What they do is they just say, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna put 1,000 here, 3,000 here, 4,000 here. Pure speculation, and it is a social experiment. You don't know what millionaire token is going to turn into. And so this is important to mention because this isn't like he had some sort of product and it turned out to not do what he said he was going to do. He didn't put out a supplement out there and say this is going to improve your cardiovascular efficiency, and then it turns out there's nothing in it except sugar. Now, where he is a scumbag is he said that he put $1 million of his own money into this token. He did not. He put 50,000 in, and then he had to cover with another 50,000. So from my understanding, he put a total of 100,000 in. And you have to realize that when you ask yourself who's at fault here, there's a couple of players. So the first player is TechLead himself. He's definitely at fault because he is a rich man. He used to work at Google. He used to work at Facebook. He has over 1 million subscribers on his channel. His ad revenue must be insane. He definitely has $1 million to put into a token that he's going to start. So why didn't he actually do it? It's because of greed. It's because maybe he doesn't have as high risk tolerance as people think. But it was a fatal flaw and a mistake because I don't know if he's going to face legal action. This is a cryptocurrency. One of the things about crypto is it's not regulated. And the thing about that is you can't go cry to the policeman and you can't go cry to the judge when something is not regulated. If you invested in Million Token, you should have known that you're investing in something that's not regulated. And so it's hard to then go cry to authorities when it's something that's not regulated. That being said, though, he's definitely in the wrong for lying to his subscribers and to the world and saying he put in $1 million when he clearly didn't. He fessed up to it. After CoffeeZilla put out his video, he actually replied to him and fessed up to it and said, no, I only put in 50,000, and then later I had to put another 50,000. So that is huge. If anything, his channel, a lot of subscribers are going to leave. His reputation is ruined. Now, the other thing and the other people that are kind of at fault here is the people who jumped on Million Token and then also spread awareness and told people about it and said, look at this cool new token, like it's worth looking into, yada, yada. One example of this is someone that I actually have a lot of respect for, and that's Andre Zik. He has a YouTube channel. It's super popular. It's actually much more popular than TechLead. I believe he has around 1.5 million subscribers, and he puts out about 2 to 3 videos a week, and usually his videos, he's super fair. He's got a nice personality. He's very pleasant, very, very smart, and he has this gift of explaining things and articulating things so easy for everyone to understand, from novice to expert traders. They all love to watch his videos because his videos on finance are like amazing. He also knows some magic tricks. He makes it really fun. So I'm a fan of Andre. However, Andre went and he didn't do his due diligence. He didn't dig into whether this is worth to put out to his 1.5 million subscribers. And he made like a 10-minute video, basically a commercial for Million Token. He did say that he personally didn't invest in Million Token, but he went through the whole story. He talked about how he reached out to TechLead way back in the day, a couple of years ago, when Andre didn't have much followers, and TechLead just ignored him. He didn't even care. And the thing is that after Andre's video, like there was a buzz. There was a buzz about Million Token. Everyone went and looked into it. After watching Andre's video, and I watched the whole thing, I actually went and looked into it. And I do want to reiterate, Andre did say that he has not invested in Million Token, and he wasn't saying you should definitely buy Million Token, but he covered it and he was telling people to look into it, see if it's a right investment for them. Now, the interesting thing is Andre went and he deleted that video, and he didn't mention anything about it in another video, which he should own up to. If he thinks it's a scam and that's why he deleted the video, then he should come out with another video and he should talk about it. Look, guys, I kind of made a mistake. I should have done more due diligence. I should have done more research before I put this out to the world. You know, I have a responsibility. I have over 1.5 million subscribers. There's a lot of people. I have a big voice. A lot of people listen to me. And so there's a responsibility with that. And I should really be a little more mindful and put more research into what I do. And so Million Token, probably not a good investment. Probably is kind of a scam. So I apologize and I'm removing that video. But all he did was he deleted the video. Now, some people, they went and said, oh my God, he deleted a video. What a fraud. I'm actually for him deleting that video because there's a lot of question marks around Million Token. And it is looking like it was a pump and dump scheme, like it was a Ponzi play. And so Andre deleting the video is good because he has such a massive following that in the coming weeks, there'd be so many thousands of people that would watch that video, even though it was from a while ago, and they might go and they might invest something into Million Token, not knowing what's happening now. Because you have to realize most people that invest in crypto, literally most people, have no idea what crypto is, how blockchain works, how the individual tokens work, tokenomics. They don't know these things. They don't research these things. It's very difficult to. Let me ask you a question. Do you own Bitcoin? Do you own Ethereum? Can you explain to me the Ethereum platform? Can you explain to me exactly how it's made up, what the developers are doing, what the new upgrades are going to be, why they forked? I mean, not everyone researches this. Not everyone knows this. So we have to be real about this stuff. This is not like a stock with an underlying company. And that's another thing to keep in mind. Like even stocks, they're guilty of this. When a penny stock starts hitting it big, you know how many CEOs of that penny stock decide to go and take the investors' money by just declaring, oh, I'm going to take a $300 million bonus or whatever. So people do this. People start projects, they get in early, and then they take profits if the project's doing well. The thing is that it was a clear lie. TechLead did not invest $1 million. And this is where he really goofed up. He totally had $1 million to invest. And now the other player that could potentially be at fault here is the YouTube platform itself. And this is something very interesting, and I might be shooting myself in the foot by talking about this, but we as YouTubers, we create videos, we're allowed to make ads out of these videos. We get paid because there's ad placement on our videos. Now imagine someone like a Microsoft or a Target whose ad is playing on a video that could potentially be a scam. This is not very ethical or moral. Also, the fact that he can go, because what TechLead did is he put out ads on YouTube. He would have videos where he wouldn't even say that it was him that created Million Token. He would pretend like he just found this token. He would tell people, guys, I just found this token, and this token might be going to the moon, and here's why. It started out as a social experiment, but it's growing, and this isn't something that you just buy and get 30% off of. This is something you can make thousands of percentages off. And he's a really good talker. I mean, he's got a quirky style, and he's definitely an odd duck, but he's got a lot of followers. People like to listen to him. People find him unique. He's been in the YouTube game for a long time, and he kind of had some credibility. He had this flair about him. I don't think that all the blame can be placed on TechLead, because think about this. What if he put $1 million in there? What difference does it make? It still hit that $223 and then it skid down. Now it's around $20. And the other thing is that even if he had that $1 million in there, that means that Million Token will never be less than $1. But why does that matter if right now, even right now, with people knowing what's going on, the price is at like $23, $24. It's nowhere near $1. So it's above $1 anyways, so it doesn't really matter. The thing is that there's going to be so many more projects like this that come out. These tokens come out. People don't know much about them. There's a lot of buzz, so they just buy. They go on the website. They read what's on the website. They read a couple of paragraphs, and they say, oh, wow, this looks very promising, and they go and invest. They don't do due diligence. They don't really educate themselves on what crypto is, on the game of tokenomics, on the perspective of where it's all going. And this is very difficult to do in the crypto space. So you do have to realize when you're investing, especially in new projects, it's all speculation. And this, I think, is a very healthy exercise for people to see. We've seen this with Dogecoin. We've seen this with SafeMoon. We now see it with Million Token. And unfortunately, we'll see it with a bunch more cryptos where people just blindly go put a lot of money in because there's a buzz, because there's a brand behind it. TechLead's a brand. He was pushing his brand hard. The people behind Dogecoin, Elon Musk was pushing it hard. Mark Cuban was pushing it hard. Ellen DeGeneres was pushing it hard. Like, these things work. It's kind of just, if the people believe in it and people want to invest in it, then it's a thing. And if the house of cards falls, then it falls. And whoever's out first made money. And the people who are left at the bottom, they're the ones holding the bag. And unfortunately, the game of tokenomics, it kind of works this way. So what I want to know is, who do you think is at fault? Is it the person that's investing without doing too much research and then crying about it later? Is it TechLead, who clearly went and said, I invested $1 million into this so that it wouldn't be below $1, and it's known as a fact, and he came out and he actually corroborated what CoffeeZilla came out and researched and stated, that he only invested $50,000 in and then put another $50,000 in. So at most $100,000, not $1 million. The other player is it YouTube's fault? Should platforms like YouTube actually comb through content, comb through the ads, and make sure that they're kosher, make sure that it's something that is not a scam, that is ethically and morally okay to show a lot of people that might YOLO their money in? And finally, is it the fault of people like Andre and other YouTube channels that just to get more subscribers and just to have more content went and covered Million Token and were talking it up? Because these people are kind of enablers for a lot of the other quote unquote investors or people YOLOing money in that trust them. So they may not be wise enough and smart enough when it comes to crypto in order to research it themselves, but they listen to people like Andre. And so if Andre's talking about it, then they say, well, it's got to be legit. He wouldn't put something like that on his channel. He's one of the most respected guys. He's super honest. He's super kind. He's super funny. Like, he's someone that you would want to be his friend. So there's no way that he would go and scam his following. So it's got to be legit. And there's some legitimacy that comes with credible people talking about it. So is it partially their fault as well? this is really important to discuss. I'm so curious what you guys think about it. Personally, I think it's a pie chart, and if you have to fault people, it's everyone I just listed. Definitely TechLead takes the most fault, maybe like 40%. I would say that people like Andre, who went and created awareness for it, they get like 10 to 15% of the blame. I would put probably 25% of the blame on the people themselves, the investors that went in and just speculated. You can't cry about that later. You can't go to the casino, put everything on black, and then red hits, and then take everything else you have, put it on black again, red hits again, and you say, oh my God, that's terrible. I lost everything. It's so unfair. The house always wins. You're an adult. You knew what you were doing. And then the rest of the blame, it is probably put on platforms like YouTube that don't really comb through the content and let ads come out that might not be super ethical and morally correct and true. So I'm really curious what you guys think. Again, this channel is rather new, so I'm going to respond to absolutely everyone that comments in the comment section. Please keep it nice. I know like a lot of people, they are trashing TechLead right now, calling him a narcissist and stuff. Let's just keep it clean and have a discussion, because honestly, as a community of investors, like this is going to happen over and over again. So I want it to be a discussion of like what we can do to kind of not have this happen and what type of research we should be doing. If you have some helpful advice on how to research these new tokens that come out so that you don't fall into the same pitfalls that a lot of these investors did, that kind of lost their clothes and everything they own on this token, and now they're kind of holding the bag and it only costs $20. But that's also interesting, is it started at $1, and even with this whole thing completely blown wide open and it's pretty much a scam, it's still trading at $20. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden it garners some attention and it starts going up. I mean, wilder things have happened. This really is a social experiment. I mean, to TechLead's credit, he was right. It's a social experiment. Let's see what happens. And what's happening now, it's very interesting. I'm curious to see if he does get in trouble with the law, if there's going to be crypto lawyers that come after him and there's going to be lawsuits and stuff, because again, this is supposed to be decentralized, deregulated currencies. And so it's very interesting what's going to happen now. So hopefully you guys enjoy this type of content. Let me know if you do. It's a little different than something that I usually do. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. And I just want to let you know I was not invested in Million Token. I don't plan to be invested in Million Token. The only cryptos that I do hold is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. I held a little bit of Farm. And very important to mention, this video is sponsored by nobody, because nobody cares about this channel, hopefully yet. But only you can change that.